All right, hey guys again. We are going to get to some language review and the beginning of your quiz before we do our next page. Okay, um, so I just wanted to review some things with you. Remember, we've been talking about our obviously different parts of speech. We've talked about our adjectives, words that describe nouns, but we talked about our adverbs as well, which are words that describe a verb. And we've been looking at our sentences and being able to recognize that and figure those out. But also with our adjectives, we learned some cool and important things. My thing that just blew my mind the other day, when you have, when you're comparing two things, we use ER, right? ER, or when you're comparing three or more, you end with EST. So we don't say he is the taller in the class. No, he is the tallest in the class. She is the fastest of the two. No, she is the faster of the two. I know it may not seem like it's right or sound like it's right, but that is correct. She is the faster of the two. Okay, so remember that. And then when the word is longer, like beautiful or wonderful or interesting or unusual, when it's big words like that, then we use more and most with them. We don't say beautiful or interestingest. Okay, no, the most interesting, the most beautiful, more beautiful. She is more unusual than he is. Okay, when you're whatever you're comparing. So two is ER and more, and three or more is EST and most. So remember those. Those are pretty easy to remember, I hope. So just don't forget when you are doing that comparison. But I want to go through and review a little bit with our adverbs, the questions that we've learned. So we learned questions with our adjectives: which one, what kind, how many, or whose. Which one, what kind, how many, or whose. Yep, we learned those. But then we learned three adverb questions. And we learned, because remember our song, how, when. We haven't done the third question, but we've done how often, how much, how, when, where, or how much, how, when, where, or how much. So think how, when, or how often, how, when, right now, or how often. Okay, those are what we're going to be looking at. So when you look at our sentence, the deer nimbly jumped the fence. What is our verb? That's where we want to start right now. Our verb is jumped because it's something you can do. So you underline jumped twice. Okay, and then we need to think, okay, where is my subject predicate divide going to be? Well, we know that our subject predicate divide always comes right after our subject. And what is our subject? Our subject is because who or what jumped? Deer. So our subject predicate divide line comes here. Oh, but there's a word in the way. Well, guess what that word is? That word nimbly is, yes, an adverb describing what? Jumped, but not just what. I mean, like what question is describing how did that deer jump? How did it jump? It jumped nimbly, not clumsily, not horribly, okay? Nimbly, and nimbly means with ease, okay? When somebody is nimble, they're able to do that. They're able to jump with ease. And so you draw a line from nimbly to jumped, okay? Underline deer once because that's your noun, your verb, or your noun, your subject, your verb, your subject, and then your verb twice, and then circle nimbly and draw an arrow to the word that nimbly is describing. So sentence number 2, it says, Dad will build a taller fence. Oh, there we go. Dad will build a taller fence today. So we will look for our verb, will build. Where are we going to put our subject predicate divide? Right, exactly. Right after dad. Dad is our subject. Will build is our verb. But you, Miss Monroe, you said there was an adverb in there. There is. Dad will build a taller fence today. Do you guys see the adverb? I think I heard some of you say it. The adverb is going to be right, today. Good. Not taller, because taller is what? An adjective. What kind of fence? Taller fence. A taller fence. It's answering the question when. Dad will build when? When is he going to build it? Oh, today. Did you get that, guys? I hope that you did. If you did, you have to tell me, because I'm wondering if some of you thought taller instead of today. So if you did get today, give me a big thumbs up on my video to show me that you did get that, because I'm really hoping you did. And then the last sentence, it says, the deer always tries to eat mom's plants. The deer always tries to eat mom's plants. So we look for our verb, and our verb is not always, because can you always? No. Can you try? Yes. So the verb, yes. So the verb is tries. Where would our subject predicate divide go? No, not in front of tries. It's going to go right after deer. Remember, because we put our subject side and our predicate side. So it doesn't mean that the verb has to be right next to the predicate side. We just know that the verb is in the predicate side. Remember that. Remember, that's why we did the subject predicate divide line, so that you would know where's my subject and where's my predicate part, right? So the predicate, the verb might be not quite next to the line. It might be down farther, which means there might be an adverb in its way, because how often does the deer try? Underline the deer once. Always tries, not sometimes tries, always, okay? How often? Always, okay? And I missed a period, so I'm gonna put that there right now. So those are our review things for today. Thinking and answering those questions. So today you're going to be working on subject predicate divide, but then find your verb first. Then obviously underline your subject once, but then you are going to ask how, when, or how often to your verb to find out your adverb. Circle the adverb, draw a line from the adverb, an arrow from the adverb to the verb that it's describing. Okay, do you got that? All right, so I'm going to come, we're going to get doing our, you're going to be working on your quiz. So quiz 14 is what you're going to be looking at. It's a pretty quick quiz today. There's not even a back, so it's just the front. Put your name and date, please. Name and date on the top. Section 1 is just adjectives, where you're figuring out if you're going to use ER, EST, more, or most. We just went through that, so rewatch that part again if you need to. Then section 2 is more adjectives, and you are writing in the correct adjective. They give you an adjective in parentheses, and then you are going to write the correct adjective in the blank for comparison. So if it's comparing 2, you know how to change it. If it's comparing 3, think carefully. And they give you, some of them give you an option, so think carefully. Then section 3, sentences and punctuation. Remember, just because we're in a new section learning new things doesn't mean we forget the old. So you're going to use the sentence key, declarative, exclamatory, imperative, interrogative. Just write INT period, IMP period, DEC period, capital DEC period. Write it just like it is in the blanks, in the box at the bottom, okay? So use that sentence key to write what each kind of sentence is, and then use proofreader's marks. Remember, 3rd grade, some of you are not doing proofreader's marks. You don't need proofreader's marks for when you are putting like underlines or things, but when you are putting the period after use proofreader's marks. If you don't use the proofreader's marks, I'm supposed to be taking off points every time. So make sure that little caret goes under things that need to be added in there. So at the end of the sentence, if it doesn't have the punctuation, use your proofreader mark, your little caret, and then put your period or your question mark or your exclamation point, okay? So make sure that you look at that, check it carefully after you're done. Don't just be done and put it aside. Check it carefully and then be ready for your language page. So that's what I'm going to do in our next video. All right, do well on this quiz. I know you know this stuff. It's going to be an easy one. I promise you. You're going to look at it and you're going to be like, I know this stuff. So you have a good time taking that quiz. Don't stress out because it's an easy one. And do your best and check it. And then I will be back with our language page because we've got some diagramming, which I'm so excited to do. I love diagramming. I hope you do too.